Is it going?
Yes, it is going. Okay, I'm here with my father, and we're here with a book, and it says The Lion on the Path and Other African Stories, told by Hugh Tracy. And this is a book my grandfather made many years ago. I guess it was published in 1965, but he learned these stories through the tribes of Rhodesia. I believe it was the Karanga, is that right?
Karanga, yes.
Karanga. The Karanga people, and here it is. Now, I have some issues with the font layout here, the design choice of that being stuck from the top, but it's called The Lion on the Path, and it has 25 stories, 4 of which were used by Nelson Mandela in a compilation of stories that he put together. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, tonight we have the honor of having my father tell a story that he's told many times, hundreds of times.
I think, yes.
Never recorded.
No.
So much like Hugh Tracy, we'll record this for the first time. And it's one of our favorites, and it's this one. And I'm going to take a hack at pronouncing this. It is Tsimbarumi.
Good.
Pretty good. It's TS, which is tricky. It's it's like tsunami.
Yes,
tsunami.
exactly.
Right.
Tsunami.
Tsimbarumi, the hardened bachelor, which is African for gay. No, it's not. He just happened to not find a wife, but the story talks about him trying to find a wife. And oh God, no, don't want to spoil. That was a picture. My father will tell the story. I have convinced him to do it, and it's a lovely gesture. Thank you, Dad.
Well, my pleasure. And we have the setting, a fireside chat and a story.
Exactly. So here we go. This is Tsimbarumi, the hardened bachelor.
All right, take a seat. We're going to have a story. This is the story of Tsimbarumi, the hardened bachelor. Once upon a time, there was a man whose name was Tsimbarumi. Now, Tsimbarumi is a word that means a hardened bachelor, because this man had tried for years and years to find himself a wife. But finally he just gave up and said, well, some people get married and some people become hunters. So he became a hunter. And every day he used to go out with his 3 dogs, Madembo, Machena, and the puppy. And he used to go hunting for wild buck, wild pigs, rabbits, fish, and so on. And one day, as he was coming around the side of the hill near his home, he saw a hole in the ground that he'd never seen before. He said to himself, must be some new kind of animal. So he set his nets over the hole and went off home to sleep. Now, early the next morning, he came back, and there, caught in his nets was, what do you think? A beautiful young woman. Oh, madam, I'm so sorry. And he quickly began to undo the knots. Now, just as he undid the last knot, down the hole she went. Ah, he said, there goes my wife. Well, being your regular kind of bachelor, he set his nets again and went off hunting. Now, very early the next morning, he came back, and there, caught in his nets again, was another beautiful young woman. Oh, madam, he said, I'm so sorry. Oh, please forgive me. I really didn't mean it. Oh, I'm so sorry. And quickly began to undo the knots. But just as he was undoing the knots, he held her tightly around the wrist with one hand while he undid the knots with the other hand. Now, just as he undid the last knot, she twisted her wrist and down the hole she went. Ah, he said, I'm going after her if it costs me my life. So quickly calling up his 3 dogs, Madembo, Machena, puppy, come on. Down the hole he went, down, till he came to a place where there were only women and no men. And the women came running up to him and said, hooray, hooray, today our husband has arrived. And they said, quick, you must hide. There's an old woman who lives here. She's an old hag. She's just got 1 tooth in her mouth, and she kills all our men. Quick, you must hide. And on one side was a big pile of animal skins. And they lifted the corner of the skins, and they pushed Tsimbarumi and his 3 dogs under there. And then the women disappeared. Very soon, who should come along but the old hag herself.
What's this I smell? What's this that smells like man?
And she went over to the pile of skins, lifted up one corner.
Aha! Bizakuru, my nephew, you must come and have some dinner with me.
Tsimburumi didn't know what to do. He had to come out. He was feeling very sheepish. He had to go and have dinner with the old hag. When dinner was over, the old hag came to Tsimburumi. She said,
Bizakuru, my nephew, it's too late for you to go home now. You must spend the night here.
and what she did, she took a sleeping mat off the wall, she spread it on the floor, and that's where Tsimburumi spent the night. He used his dog Madembo for a pillow. Machena slept at his feet, and the puppy slept right on his chest. Now, in the middle of the night, the old hag got up. She lifted up a hearthstone from beside the fire, high in the air, and she was just about to smash it down on Tsimburumi's head when his dogs woke up. Call the dogs off, they're biting me. Madembo, Machena, puppy, down, sit. Forgive me, madam, he said, but where I come from, I teach my dogs to look after me at night. I think I spend the rest of the night outside. So he took his sleeping mat and he spread it outside on the doorstep, and that's where he slept until morning. When morning came, the old hag came to Tsimburumi and she said,
Mizukura, my nephew, I wonder if you'd do me one small favor before you go.
"Of course, madam, of course, anything you say."
There's a fruit tree here, a nice big tall fruit tree, and the fruit is ripe. But I'm too old to climb the...
Of course, madam, I'll climb the tree for you. I'll pick the fruit for you. So they collected some baskets and off they went down the path towards the fruit tree. And as they went, the three dogs put up a buck. They chased it down the valley. Down the valley they went. Well, they got to the fruit tree. Tsimburumi threw down his axe. He climbed up the tree and began picking the fruit. And as soon as he was up there, the old hag looked up and said,
Aha! Mizukuru, my nephew, now where are your dogs to look after you?
and you know what she did? She began to chop down the tree with her one tooth.
Chichapuru, narazarawangu, chichapuru, narazarawangu, chichapuru, narazarawangu.
Bite deep, my dear. Bite deep, my tooth. Bite deep.
Chichapuru, narazarawangu, chichapuru, narazarawangu.
Bite deep. And Tsimburumi didn't know what to do. He called out to his dogs, Madembo! Machena! But they were way down the valley. They couldn't hear him.
Chichapuru, narazarawangu, chichapuru, narazarawangu.
The tree was getting thinner and thinner. Tsimburumi didn't know what to do. He was swaying around at the top of the tree. When suddenly he remembered a magic song that he'd learned as a young boy. So quickly he began to sing, "Come on, Janjari, kuning ambachena, ininakaruniwe. Come on, Janjari, kuning ambachena, inja Madembo." That means, trot, trot like a white ox, I'm in great danger. Trot, trot like a white ox, my dog Madembo. Come on, Janjari, kuning ambachena, ininakaruniwe. Come on, Janjari, kuning ambachena, inja Madembo. And his dogs, from way down in the valley, they heard that magic music and they came running back. And one by one they jumped at the old hag. But as each one jumped, she chopped him down with her one tooth.
Chichapuru, chichapuru, chichapuru. Aha! Now your dogs are dead. What are you going to do now?
And she went on chopping down the tree.
Chichapuru, narazarawangu, chichapuru, narazarawangu, chichapuru, narazarawangu.
Well, the tree was getting thinner and thinner. Tsimburumi was swaying around up there. He didn't know what to do. All he could think of was to sing his magic song. Come on, Johnny, come on, Johnny. And the dead dogs, they heard that magic song once again, and the wind entered into them, and all three of them jumped up together. They held the old hag down. Quickly, Tsimburumi slid down the tree. He picked up his axe and he clove her in two. Bow! Bow! Then Tsimburumi called the women of the village. When they came, they saw the old hag. They said, "Hooray, hooray! today you've killed the slayer of our husbands. And Cymborumi said to the women, fetch firewood. And they fetched firewood. He said, lay it in rows. And they laid it in rows. He said, put her on top. And they put her on top. And he said, put fire underneath. And they put fire underneath. And they burned her up till she was just fine white ashes. And then the women took Cymborumi back to their village and they married him. And that is the end of that story.